Good day, everyone. I am Vijay Buddharaju from IDEC Controls India Private Limited. Today, we are going to look into the topic of KW2D RFID reader and its configuration. So, in this presentation, I'll be walking you through the understanding of what an RFID means, features of KW2D RFID reader, which we have, as well as its specifications. Then moving on to the configuration of KW2D with Ethernet IP as well as Modbus TCP protocols. So let us now understand what an RFID means. RFID is abbreviated as radio frequency identification, which is usually a wireless device which has reader and a tag. So reader actually will be placed as a stationary object, whereas tag can be of two formats. It can be a normal ID card kind of tag, or even a key fob kind of tag. So I'll be showing you these two different kinds of tags in the specifications later. So as you can see, we can use this in the entrance systems or ticketing gates or material handlings or the logistics. Coming to the principle and the working of the RFID tags, it actually works on magnetic fields, which is generated from the RFID reader to receive the signal from the RFID tag. Coming to the features of KW2D, KW2D RFID reader has IP67 protection level from the front end, and it can be mounted on the metal panel, kind of back through. Then it actually can be mounted on a mounting hole of 22 mm. Front part can be mounted, the back part can be attached to the front part individually. The back part has Ethernet port as well as push-in terminals for the power. The fourth feature is we have an LEDs indicating the status of KW2D. That is whether it is on standby mode, or if I'm trying to place the identification tag or the RFID tag, it actually shows us the result whether it's a success or if there is any error. And it can be integrated with various factory automation products such as PLC and HMI with the help of the protocols which we have. So coming to the specifications of KW2D, so KW2D comes in two models. One is holder type, the other is normal type. Holder means we have a dedicated kind of RFID tag, that is key fob, that can be placed here for quite some period of time to identify the authority level of that tag, right? So rated input voltage is around 24 volts DC with capacity of power consumption of 2.4 watt. It actually supports both the types of cards, right? Normal ID card and key fob card. So normal ID card can be sensed at a range of 0 to 15 mm, as well as key fob cap card type card can be sensed from 0 to 5 mm. Communication protocol supported at Modbus TCP, Ethernet IP, as well as CC-Link IE Field Basic. So all these protocols works on Ethernet base, so connection or connector will be of LAN cable, that is RJ45. Panel cutout is around 22 mm as we have seen previously. The dimensions are also of quite good range with respect to the front side or from the panel back end side. Degree of protection is 67 from the front, altogether it's 65. We have a good range of mechanical performances as well with respect to temperature, humidity, pollution degrees and all. Standards, coming to the IEC standards, we are quite available in in few respective fields. Coming to the specifications of RFID, so I am just mentioning the supported tags or the cards which can be detectable by the KW2D RFID reader. So these are the 4 types of RFID tags which can support RFID reader of ours. And if you can see the communication speed, if it is a type A, it supports a speed of 106 kbps, the reading speed. If we are opting for a type of card which is a type F of this specific standard, so it supports a speed of 212 kbps. Carrier frequency is around 13.56 megahertz. There are 2 kinds of tags as I mentioned you. Normal ID card type, as you are seeing it here, and key fob card type. So they have their own standards of communication. So these are 3 standards which are there are 4 standards here which can be supported with ID card kind of tags. For key fob tags, ISO IEC 14443 type A tag is only supported. These specifications we have seen earlier with respect to distance. Tag reading time can be set with the help of the configurator, the KW RFID configurator, which we have with for the reader. It can range from 300 to 3000 milliseconds, which can be settable. So moving on to the configuration of KW2D with Ethernet IP, this is our major topic today. So Ethernet IP stands for Ethernet Industrial Protocol. So it works on industrial multi-vendor network that uses Ethernet. So as you can see, if you have an Ethernet port and it supports Ethernet IP, we can try and configure different Ethernet devices which supports Ethernet IP. So specifications of KW2D. Supported protocols for KW2D with respect to Ethernet IP is Ethernet IP communication adapter type. Well, the notable points here are it supports 2 kinds of functions, that is IO message communication as well as explicit message communication, that is class 3 UCMM. So we will be going on through the practicals on IO communication function. So as I mentioned you, there are two methodologies with Ethernet IP adapters support, that is IO message communication target, which acts as target in our case, and the other methodology is class 3 UCMM communication. Speaking of IO message communication function, it's a function that allows Ethernet IP devices to cyclically read and write data with each other. The target unit for reading or writing data is called a CIP connection point. So here cyclically means it tries to read the data to and fro without any interrupt. That means it's not a transient kind of communication wherein we have to give a signal to read the data or to write the data. So it actually does automatically. Class 3 UCMM communication function is a communication in which target executes and responds to the service requested by the originator. So in our case, let's say KW2D is target, then originator will be the controller. So controller has to request a service so that it can respond back. Well, a CIP connection in Ethernet IP has 3 types. One is exclusive owner, second is input only, third method is listen only. So for exclusive owner, it requires CIP connection. That means we have to open the connection, even for input only, but for listen only, connection is not required. In exclusive owner, we can send and receive data, that is between target and the originator. So in our case, KW2D is the target and PLC is the originator. So this is our FC6A PLC with which we'll try to communicate with the KW2D. So in input only, if originator PLC tries to read the data, it cannot send data back to the KW2D. Even in the case of listen only, we can only read the data from KW2D. We cannot write any command to the RFID reader. So in our example, we'll try to execute exclusive owner, which reads and writes the data to the target. So coming to the memory assignment, we have to understand what kind of data can be transmitted or received from KW2D. So as we have seen, KW2D RFID reader is acting as an originator. So here we are trying to receive the data. That means if say we are programming in PLC, input assembly means the data is being transferred from KW2D to the PLC. That means PLC is reading the data, which is sent by KW2D RFID reader. So these are the addresses. These are registers to be specific. So register number 0 has, as we have known that each register has 16 bits. So one register of 0 in RFID reader, it represents 16 bit. Each bit has its own denotation. So let's say bit number 0 is verification OK. That means the RFID which has been read, the tag which has been read is OK. That means it is registered in the list of KW2D. Maybe I'll explain a little later what that registration means. So likewise, we have set of registers here. So these are few. I'll be showing you a few more here. So there are a few more registers here, like from 5 to 35 altogether. So 5 to 11, here we will get 5 actually represents whether the operation of reading the RFID is successful or not, whether it's running or stopped. Then 6 represents the authority level. I mean, if you're trying to read a tag RFID, in that case, every tag has its own authority, which we usually set in a KW2D reader. So that specific register of 6 represents what kind of authority was given to that specific tag. Then UID, every RFID reader will have its own unique ID. So that ID can be read from register 7 to 11 altogether. So it can have, it is a register, right? So we can go with altogether 4 hexa, 4 hexas altogether. That means we can try and read 2 bytes altogether. Similarly, we can read out the names. There are 2 names which we can provide in KW2D. Both the names can be read simultaneously. So we can read the name which we are mentioning in that from register number 15 to register number 23 and 25 to 33 respectively. So I'll show you what a unique ID name 1, name 2, how to configure that in KW2D reader. Similarly, for output assembly, here PLC will transmit the data to KW2D reader. So here KW2D reader is a target and host divide, which is PLC, is an originator. So as you can see here, registers 1 to 35 altogether, they're all reserved. We have only one register, that is the first register, 0th register, in which we can send the data in the form of bits to KW2D. So we can try and stop the reading of the tags, or maybe uh, we can manually check the OK command, or we can stop the buzzer. We can change the colors from here. So manual operations can be done, or automatic operations can be done if we have something in access in our hands, right? So PLC can access all these in RFID reader. So for this example, these are the requirements. I mean, these are the instruments which I'm using. I'm using FC6A plus CPU PLC, then KW2D RFID reader, uh, which is without holder, power supply, Ethernet hub, then Cat6 cables, RFID tag. So either card type or key fob type, but I'll be using card type, which we use in general, right? Then from with respect to softwares, I'm considering Wind LDR for the IDEC PLC, which is a version 8.18, which I'll be doing the example with. KW2D configurator, version 1.1.1. This is what I have. This is what with which I have configured in this presentation. Then moving on to the block diagram. This is how it is configured. It is wide. My PC is being communicated through hub of ours to PLC as well as to KW2D RFID reader. So PLC has two ports. So for both the ports, I have specified the IP address. The IP address for port number 1 is 192.168.1.7. The other one is 192.168.1.6. For PC, I have set it as 192.168.1.20, and RFID reader, I've set it as 192.168.1.50. So all the devices can be given power supply from PS5R, which is 24 volts plus or minus. So everything can be looped to three of these devices. Or if you're having your own PLC, maybe the power supply may vary. Coming to the procedure of Ethernet IP configuration with KW2D. Firstly, we have to open the configurator of KW2D, that is KW RFID configurator. Then we have to click on File to open new project. We can enter name if it's not a mandatory part, so if not required, you can skip this option. Then network IP settings. So since I'm using, as you can see in the block diagram here, I have already decided what IP has to be set for each of the devices. So initially we have to do this little homework to understand which IP is configured to which device. So for KW2D RFID reader, I have set it as 192.168.1.50. So that's why I'm setting it to the same IP address which I mentioned in the block diagram. So if you're having some other, definitely you can go with it, but make sure that all the IP addresses which are there in this block diagram should be in the same IP range, just the last number should be different. Then I'll be selecting the communication settings mode as Ethernet IP adapter. We have three options here: Modbus TCP, Ethernet IP, and CC-Link iField Basic. So right now we are going through the process of configuring Ethernet IP. So I'll be opting for Ethernet IP adapter. Then maybe I just took an example that once I'm reading the tag, it should retain its value for 5 seconds at least. Okay, and I have check marked all the tags which should be supported. Distance of reading also can be configured here. Reading time can also be configured here. So I have set as minimum as possible, that means as fast as possible. Then if you'd like to go with using of buzzer or LED, you can check mark here directly. Otherwise, We can even try and execute with the help of PLC, since we have the commanding devices. Then after this, go to the tag list. If none of the tags are registered here, what we can do is, firstly we need to understand what is there in the RFID reader. So for that, you can go to online. There are two clear options wherein it's clearly mentioned that whether we have to read the backup which is there in RFID reader, or we have to write it to the RFID reader. So in simple wordings, it was written that RFID KW2D to PC or PC to KW2D. So whichever is useful for you, you can use that. So if you'd like to take the backup, so straight away you can go to online and click on KW2D to PC. It asks for some location to save the file. You can save with some name, with the convenient name which you require. Then, so if there are no tags, if you are configuring for the first time, so we'll not find any tags. If you'd like to remove, just click on each tag and click on the remove button. So there are two options to configure the tags. First thing is, you can click on add, write each and every individual column, that is unique ID or name, one name to authority also we can provide, right? So this has to be entered manually. Otherwise, what we can do, we can click on monitor, set the IP address of KW2D, click on connect. Once it is connected, sense each tag on the RFID reader. It actually monitors and gives you what kind of tag that is, what is the unique ID it has. If name is there, it will mention the name also. So right now I'm having 3 key fob tags and one normal ID card tag. So this is the normal ID card tag which I have, and these are key fob tags which IDEC provides. So once it is done, if nothing has been registered, if these are not registered, so we can click on save register ID. So it actually saves it to the tag list over here in this format. So after that, since we have not mentioned any name, we can write some name over here, name 1 and name 2. So as I've written green, yellow, red, these are the colors of the tag, key fob tags. And here I've written employee underscore ID, IDEC. And I've given the authority of 1, 2, 3 to this 3 and 10 to the employee ID tag. So after doing the settings, as I mentioned, you go to online, click on download to PC, download, that is PC to RFID. So we are transferring the data from the settings as well as the tag list from PC to RFID. So we can click on all settings or only the tag list. Since we are doing it for the first time and we are changing the settings as well as tag list, so we will click on all settings. So it takes fraction of seconds to transfer the data from RFID, PC to RFID. So moving on to the configuration of PLC. So our PLC supports WinLDR software. Firstly, we have to open the software. Then if some window opens with recovery, project recovery, just close it down. Then as I'm using the PLC model of plus, that is T16 XXC EEE model, which I'll be using in this PLC configuration. Then we have to go to, once it is opened, go to configuration window tab, click on the Ethernet port 1 and set the IP address as shown below. That is, I'm setting the Ethernet port number 1 IP address as 1.7, which we have seen in the block diagram once again. I'm not changing any IP addresses here. Similarly, you can see port number 2 there itself on the left hand section, selection window. There we can check 192.168. If the IP address is different, then again we can set it as per the block diagram which we are going with.
that is 192.168.1.6. Once these both IP addresses are set, for Ethernet port number 2 on the bottom side, if you come down, you can find this option of Ethernet IP settings, wherein we have to checkbox we have to check the checkbox of enable Ethernet IP. So once it is done, this button will be visible, and we have to click on the configure. Once we click on configure, nothing will be visible on the right hand side. In that case, we just need to drop down the IDA corporation here. We have EDS files for EDS file for KW2D. So we just need to drag from here and drop it at the scan list. So once it is done, these two parts will be displayed to us. So to configure that, initially my CIP connection will be of different kind. As I explained you, we have three CIP connections: exclusive owner, input only, or listen only. So I have already explained you input exclusive owner is for read and write, input only is for reading, listen only is also for only for reading. Right. So right now I'm considering both read and write, so I can read and write the data. Trigger, I'm going with cyclic, make it as default. Control register, take any register which is free. It actually consumes 5 registers, so make sure 5 registers after consecutive to the register which you are mentioning here are free. I'm not changing the timeout. This is the RIP for receiving and sending data time. So I'm mentioning it as 50 millisecond. Again, it can be varied, but I'm not touching these settings as of now, because it may, if we are going with less scan time, this is actually, you can mention it as scan time, the communication between KW2D and the PLC. So right now I'm not going with those kind of settings. So CIP connection type, we can opt for point-to-point. Instant ID, it comes automatically once we mention exclusive owner. So you might have observed in the registers which I explained you, instant ID is predefined. So for taking in the data, we have to write 100. For sending out the data, we have to write 200. So it's by default once we click on exclusive owner. If you're going with input only, then this data may change. So let's say for input only, instance ID is 100, and for input, and for output, instance ID is 198. So these changes automatically. So I'm taking all the registers from the KW2D. So I'll be mentioning register D500 here, and the size of the register is 636. I mean 36 values. I'll be taking it from KW2D. Similarly here, for the out also, since we have seen from 1 to 15 or 32, nothing has been used, all are reserved. So but this will not accept, so whatever we are mentioning here, 36, we have to mention the same quantity here as well. So just try and mention 36, whether it's used or not used. Otherwise it will give up an error. So after doing all these settings, we have to click on Ethernet IP settings here, and check mark on the turn on Ethernet IP communication bit automatically. Once the communication is done between KW2D and the PLC, it actually turns on Ethernet IP communication. So this checkbox has to be checked, otherwise I will not receive any data from KW2D because Ethernet IP is not turned on. So once we are done everything, click on OK for the Ethernet IP settings window as well as for the function area settings window, OK, and then download the settings which we have done. Since we have done the registers which we have given for the KW2D reading and writing, 500 to 535 and 550 to 585. This first is for reading the values, this is for writing the values.
right? So as a testing, we can go with batch monitoring or custom, wherein I was trying to execute the employee ID tag. I have read that, and as you can see, the UID 9255BDB2, which you can see in these registers, register number 507 and 508. If the tag length is quite big, then maybe it will go till here. Okay. Then employee ID name is over here, name 1. This is name 2. Since I'm displaying in as hexa, it will show in hexa. If these are actually a format of ASCII, just change the monitor type to ASCII, so you can observe the ASCII values of it. Whereas UID is hexa, so we'll receive the data in the format of hexa. So maybe we have to do some PLC program to change. Otherwise, we can display on the HMI itself. And authority level will be shown over here. Register number 505, that is 5th register. A is hexadecimal because I'm showing in hexa. So A actually represents 10, right? So as you can see, authority is 10, so it is showing 10. That is A. And 4 here represents how many bytes of data we have received. So we have received 4 bytes of data, right? So these two represents 1, these two represents 1. This is 2 byte. One register contains 2 bytes, right? So 2 plus 2, that altogether 4 bytes of data we have received. Even we can count how many tags we have read till now. So that counting can be measured in D534. Okay. So I have taken custom window as well to forcefully write some value, that is D550. So we can change the values from here to either stop or change the color. So those kinds of operations can also be done from the PLC, right? So let me just open the RFID reader in the configuration window first. Then maybe again we'll jump on to the configuration of KW2D with the Modbus TCP. So initially I'll be opening Wind LDR as well as KW configurator. Right. So let us set KW configurator first. So write some name. I am giving some name to it, EIP, the same name which I mentioned over there. By default, the ID was set as 1.50. I think we should go with new project. Nope. Okay. But this is not a mandatory part to write name. Then we are going with Ethernet IP, right? Adapter. Click on this. I will try and hold the data for 5 seconds. So I have written 5 seconds data, sorry. Then use of buzzer. Whenever I try and access the RFID reader, the buzzer will glow, and as well as the LEDs will show its data. So if green LED is shown, that means the RFID tag read is successful. If red is shown, that means tag read is not successful. That means it should present in the tag list. So right now we do not have anything, but in detail it has some tags inside that. So what we can try and do is can go to monitor once, 192.168.1.50. My PC's IP address is set to 1.20 initially before starting this presentation. So my IP address is 1.50. So and RFID reader IP address is 1.50. Initially I have said that if it is not set, what we can do, we have to go to online, upload the data from RFID to PC, check what is the IP address, change the PC address in line with that, and uh, do the necessary settings, then write it back if the IP address is different. In my case, the IP address is set previously as 1.50, so I don't need to do anything. So go to monitor, click the proper IP address for the RFID reader, click on connect. It says some data is present. I'll say no. So right now I am sensing one tag of green. So this is green tag. It's already present, so it will show the data. Its name. This is yellow, and authority levels are already set in the reader, so it will show. Otherwise, what we need to do, we have to reset it once again. Otherwise, so there's one more tag. Maybe I'll try and read. Okay, this is employee ID, which is already present. If these are not present, you'll not able to see the authorities or names which are provided here. So once all these are done, click on save registered UID tags. Otherwise, I'll do one thing. Reset the IP factory settings. 192.168.1.50. Execute. Okay, initially I think I've set green tag. Yes. So actually I forget which tag actually I have kept. I'll try and upload. Okay, so factory reset, actually I kept it as red. That has to be changed. That has to be configured here. So reset factory settings, execute. Okay, now it has come to factory reset settings. Everything is back to normal. So I'll try and reopen KW configurator, or else I would have gone for new file, new project, KW2D. Right, so 1.50 is the IP. Maybe I have to change it to Ethernet IP. Then 5 seconds. Use buzzer. Maybe I'll use the buzzer. Since no tags are available, monitor, connect. So by default, the IP address of the RFID reader is 1.50. So I'll go with green key fob, then yellow, okay, then red, and then the final tag, it is employee ID. So since these are not registered, save the tag. Yes. I'll write it as green, yellow, red. ID, just an ID tag of IDEC maybe. I'll just mention some name to it. That is also non-binary, that we have to write specific thing. So it's for only understanding purpose. I will be giving 10. Okay. For factory reset, again we have to uh, give some tag authority. Maybe I'll give it to green, so that whenever I'm pressing factory reset, so green tag, the authority who is having the green can only do these factory reset settings. So once these settings are done, click on download either from here or from here. Okay, all settings, execute. Okay, done. Then now these settings are done, so we'll move on to the WinLDR. So in that, close it, go to the selection of PLC, select the necessary PLC over here, right? So I'm going with FC6A 16XXCW. Then you have to go to the configuration window. We have to click on Ethernet IP1, Ethernet port 1. Settings, maybe we'll go with the same settings which you have done in the presentation. 192.168.1.7 for Ethernet port number 1 and 1.6. Okay. And finally check on Ethernet enable, configure, drag and drop the KW2D from here to scan list. Initially we have to turn on the Ethernet IP communication and go to KW2D, the exclusive owner over here, KW configurator settings. So here which I forgot to mention in the presentation, 192.168, we have to mention the IP address 192.168.1.50 for KW2D reader. Then exclusive owner, by default it's exclusive owner, so it has 100 and 200. If you are going with input only, it will change automatically, we don't need to do anything else. So I'll go with exclusive owner, cyclic, maybe some register D80, the one same I've took in the presentation, D500, D550, altogether maybe 36. Same value has to be entered here, 36. I'm taking all the register. So click on OK, OK, and we can download the data. So I'm using communication as a USB here for fast communication. Otherwise, we can go with Ethernet also. You can specify which port we are going with. So okay, I'll try and use the first port. Okay, it's transferring the data to the PLC. It's download successful. Let us go and monitor now. So first, for fast monitoring, I'll do one thing. I'll change the settings to USB. My PC is being communicating with USB also. So let us check the register D500. Right, so I'll be scanning the employee ID tag which I have. So you can listen the sound. So it's a 4-bit 9255 BDB2. Let me just take it out. After 5 seconds it comes back to normal because I have given a time of 5 seconds. Right, okay, let me just put in green tag key fob. So it has 7 bytes, 0419 A6. So you can see here it's the same number, 0419 A6126 till 81. It's a 7 byte. Maybe you can do the programming to take only 7 bytes. So I have took the key fob out from there. So it has come back to normal. To let's say to write some value into it. So the register which we took was D550, right? So now what we need to do is I need to enter the hexar register value of that. I'll go back to the PPT once again. Let me just check what we can do. I'll try and stop the RFID command. That means it will not read any value. So let me just click one, write one over here. So I'll put the tag on top of RFID reader. So as you can see, there's no value coming up here. Let me just, I'll put the tag there in there itself as the same way. Now the tag is on top of the RFID reader in front of that, and it's reading the value. And you can see even we can see the name as well here. Okay, so to check the name, we have to check the ASCII ID, and here 525 we have ID EC. This is the register which we have. Okay, this is going in line with the registers which I have shown you here. Okay, 15 to 23 is name 1, 25 to 33 is name 2. Fine, I think that is done for Ethernet IP. The remaining configuration, the PLC programming can be done, because once we have received the data, we can play along with it. So let us move back to the presentation of the Modbus. The configuration is quite simple for Modbus TCP. The requirements are quite same requirements as we have seen earlier. IP address are also same. Settings are also same, but with respect to KW2D, but only thing is we have to change the communication settings of Modbus settings to Modbus TCP server, and remaining settings which we have done in the in the Ethernet IP are the same. So if someone's referring this specific video, maybe they can go a little bit backward and check the KW2D configuration, how we have done that. Right. So in the PLC also the configurations are quite same till step number 5. In step number 6, we have to open one more selection that is called as communication settings. So once the communication settings has been opened, there we need to click the first connection, that is we have to set it as Modbus TCP client, and click on configure. Once we click on configure, a window will be open wherein we try and set the functionality codes as read the status or write the status. Okay, this is actually writing of status, not reading of status. I'll change it in the example which I'll be showing later. After that, we have to set all these as per what is mentioned over here. That means bits and words, how many bits and sizes, 32, 16 and 32. These have taken all the bits and words which are mentioned in the manual. So I'm targeting all the bits and registers which can be read or written to the KW2D. So again, Modbus slave address will be again we have to set as per the read input status or write input coil status or reading input registers. According to that, we need to set. So I hope whoever using Modbus TCP, if you're trying to read using with KW2D, definitely you have to go with these settings only. Then slave number is 1, we have only one slave, and the host we have to set, that is our host is KW2D because we are setting from PLC. And Modbus TCP actually communicates from Ethernet port number 1, so we have to set port number 1 with the KW2D IP address. Port number I'm not changing here. For the host port number is 502, which you can see here in KW2D configuration. By default, port number comes as 502. So we have to write down the same port number. Okay, just after doing all the settings, click on OK. Okay, IP address of KW2D, and finally click on OK, whichever window is open, and straight away go to online and write down the settings back to the PLC. For monitoring, as we have taken M0, M50 and M100, so as you can see here, for reading the inputs, writing the coils, it's actually write. We have to take a different functionality code over here to write. I'll be showing you in the example. Read input registers D100 to D10131. So for testing purposes, again I've taken the same tag which as an example, which I've taken for the Ethernet IP. We can get the UID data over here. You can see the UID K9255BD-B2, so which is being received in D103 and 104. Again, employee ID and everything will be received from here, D11111 to D116, because it's an employee ID. We can even monitor the status signals like M's and all. Then even we can try and force on or force off the commands, that is M50. Okay, so let me just open the Wind LDR screen, and I will again set the settings. Maybe in place of EIP, I'll write mod TCP just for my identification. IP address, I'm putting it as same. Here I have to change it to Modbus TCP server. The remaining settings are quite same. I'm not changing any other. I'm just changing the methodology of communication. Online, download, all settings. Execute. It's done. Now the RFID reader KW2D is working as Modbus TCP server. Going back to the Wind LDR. Go back here, Ethernet IP port number 1. Port number 2 I set is Ethernet IP, right? So I'll just unconfigure it. Okay. Now port number 1 is set as 1.7. Port number 2 IP address is set as 1.6. Go into communication settings. This is what is for Modbus TCP. Drop down the first connection. If you're having multiple, just go with the other ones, like whichever is flexible for you. Right now I do not have any other settings, so I'm going with connection number 1, Modbus TCP client, because KW2D is acting as our. So as soon as we done that, this window opens. Otherwise you can click on the configure button over here. So here, read input, write force multiple coils. Instead of reading coils, I'm writing the coils, and read input registers. So I'll just go back and refer what I've set over here. I'll set the same things, M0, M50, D100. Which are free as of now. Sizes, these actually are referred from the manual. I'm taking all the sizes, complete registers which are available in KW2D for reading and writing. 32, 16, 32. 32 bits for reading bits, 16 bits for writing, 32 registers for reading. Slave number 1, we have only one KW2D reader which we are targeting. Modbus is quite important. We have to configure the same. That is 1, 4 times 0, 1. This is only 1. This is 3, 4 times 0 and 1. Okay, this is quite important. We have to set the same starting address, Modbus address in the slave. That is, slave means in our case KW2D. So host also we need to set. Click on new host. 192. This is the RFID reader IP address. 50. Port number I'm not changing. Just write KW2D for understanding. It's a KW2D we're targeting. We have only two ports, right? 1.7 and 1.6. I'm using port number 1. I have to use port number 1 for Modbus. Click on OK. Already I've set the settings, so just need to drag and drop. Click OK. OK. Settings are done. Now we just need to download. Okay. So it has been written, and CPU is healthy. Just on monitor. Let us monitor the register. I think we are targeting D100, right? To W. I am just putting up the data tag. You can see 9255, same tag. Let me use the key fob tag yellow. Okay, this is yellow. To check the ASCII, yellow. Okay, I'll go with red. Red. This is red tag, key fob tag. So this is how we can check. Even we can check the status of mbits, and we can even force on to disable the RFID reader. So it's quite similar to what we have seen in the Ethernet IP address protocol. So that's it from our end. So thank you very much for going through our video sessions. So we'll try and come up with few more solution oriented videos with respect to configuration or with respect to products. So thank you very much once again, and see you in the next.